All right, for writing today, we're going to be talking about dialogue. I know that we have learned about quotation marks and how to correctly punctuate dialogue in class in our previous lessons, but we're still a little hazy on how to use it in our stories. So I'm going to be focusing on that in this lesson. There are two different kinds of dialogue. There is direct dialogue and there is indirect. Okay? Dialogue refers to what the characters are saying, their exact words. If you are using direct dialogue, then you are writing word for word what the characters are saying. In that moment in the story, okay? If you are using indirect dialogue, then this is a secondhand report. It is not the exact thing that the character is saying. It is instead you telling that the character was talking about something. Okay, so it's not the exact words. So it's a secondhand account that the character spoke. Not exact words. Okay, so what this means, we'll do an example. A direct quote or a direct dialogue would be the exact words. So, for example, may I buy a new pair of shoes? So you see the quotation marks at the beginning, and then I'm going to put a question mark because it's a question, and then I'm going to put quotation marks at the end. And then Lisa is the name of the character. Lisa asked her mom. So in this example, I wrote the exact words Lisa said to her mother, word for word. An indirect quote or an indirect set of dialogue, for example, would be Lisa asked her mom for a new pair of shoes. Okay, it's a sentence. You know Lisa asked her mom about shoes, but you don't hear her exact words. So that is the difference between the direct and an indirect. Anytime you want the characters to have exact words, you need to use quotation marks. If you just want to inform the reader that the character had spoken, but their exact words is not necessary, you would use indirect, where you just tell what they did or what they said. So the direct words always get quotation marks. So for example, my mom said, this does not get quotation marks. She's not speaking yet. I put a comma after the word said, then she's about to talk, so I put quotation marks. Get in the car. We are going to the store. Okay? Now those are my mom's exact words. This part, no quotation marks, the exact words, quotation marks. You don't have to use quotations for everything a character says. You only do this when you want to tell your reader a direct quote from the character, when you want them to know exactly what the character is saying. Or you could say the same sentence right here as, my mom told us to get in the car because we were going to the doctor. It still gets the point across, but we don't have to have dialogue. Okay, this is when you're just telling the reader what the character said indirectly. So some of you use too much dialogue and your story gets all jumbled because it's just a bunch of people talking and I don't know what's going on. Sometimes it's better to tell what the characters talked about than to actually have the direct words that the character is speaking. Use dialogue in your stories, but use it with purpose. Use it to express something that needs to be expressed. Don't just put it in there because you just like having your characters talk a lot. Okay? Let's say you want to write that your dad told you to go to bed. And this is going to be a direct quote. How would we write it? We could write it like this. My dad yelled at us to go to bed. Is this a direct quote or an indirect quote? The answer is indirect. We know that Dad's yelling at us to go to bed, but it's not his exact words. I can rewrite this sentence for dialogue. My dad yelled, comma, quotation, kids, go to bed, quotation. Now we know it's his exact words, exactly what he told us to do, okay? I'm going to have an activity for you to do, and it is going to be to rewrite some sentences as a direct quotation using correct punctuation, such as commas before they talk with quotation marks. If it is after they talk, do you see this? May I buy a new pair of shoes? Lisa asked her mom. There's no comma. You don't need to put a comma after their words if you're going to tell the character said it. You only have to use a comma if the character comes first before the words. Okay? So you're going to have this activity to do. You're going to read each sentence. You're going to rewrite each sentence as a quotation. Make sure you add the correct punctuation. There are 6. I will post this on your planner for you to complete and turn in. If you have any questions, you can ask me during office hours. Best of luck.